Welcome to Tram for Two, a series where I take my guests on a tram ride through Zurich. Grüezi. Welcome to the second season of Tram for Two. Today's guest is a man who might greet you with Servus. Welcome, Kian Soltani.
Servus.
Tell me a little bit about where you're from.
I actually was born not so far from here, but in Austria. So just where Austria starts, the border between Austria, Switzerland and Germany, so-called Dreiländereck, and the city is called Bregenz. It's the capital of Vorarlberg. So actually Zurich was always the closest big town for me, because Vienna, even though I'm Austrian, Vienna was 6 hours away, and Zurich was just one. So this was like the first big city I really saw was Zurich.
But you are coming from Iranian and Persian background.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. My parents actually.
Yes, this is
forgot. My parents are not from Austria. When I don't look in the mirror, I forget sometimes. And then I look in the mirror and oh, wait a second. So they are from Iran and they are born there, both of them, my father and my mother. And they came to Austria in the 70s to study classical music. And then they stayed because it's so nice. And then I was born there. So yeah, Persian roots, Iranian roots, but born in Austria. That's me.
How does it feel to be an artist in focus this season for Tonhalle Orchestra?
Very special for me, very special, because I heard the Tonhalle Orchestra since I'm a child. It was one of the major orchestras. I mean, maybe the best orchestra in the, I don't want to, maybe let's not say that to not offend anybody, but it's really an amazing orchestra, and they were amazing, and I was always loved this orchestra so much, particularly the cello section. I'm a cellist, of course.
The cello section is amazing. Yes. We have a fantastic cello section.
Legendary Thomas Kossenbacher, who unfortunately retired recently. I had even lessons with him, and my cousin studied with him, and I know a lot about how he teaches and his approaches. Then the other principal cellist, Raphael Rosenfeld, also with him I had lessons, chamber music lessons, because I studied in Basel. So this, the cellists of the Tonhalle have always been very important for me, and the orchestra as a whole, I grew up almost with it, listening to the recordings as well. And so to be now a focus artist is very special for me. So it's kind of this, I consider almost my hometown orchestra, because in Vorarlberg, where I'm from, we don't have a full-time orchestra symphony.
You must have a lot of very interesting and high-level offers. Do you have a kind of a, in today's world, our younger generation, which you are clearly part of, has this sort of life-work balance thing, you know? Do you apply this, or you don't have that?
I do. It has changed a bit. Like now I'm 31. I would say my 20s was like, do as much as you can, do everything, and just go, and it worked while I was in my 20s. And now maybe it has also something to do with the pandemic and how everything slowed down for like a good year for sure, but even more than that. Now I do very much cherish and make sure that I have enough time, always off time also. Since then, I've never gotten back to my 20s lifestyle of go, but now I really put a lot of focus on having a smart calendar and smart planning and not overworking myself. And so far it's going well, and so far I really love it. I would like to keep it like this, but sometimes then of course there come some really amazing offers. You just have to say yes, and then your whole plan falls apart, but it doesn't matter.
Does that smart calendar has anything to do with your decision to become a professor?
That actually completely unrelated and also extremely spontaneous. It's not something I planned. I cannot teach so much because I have so many concerts. I can only take 4 students. So I was like, okay, well, this is very manageable. 4 students is very manageable because I have this trying to have a balance. I knew it would actually work perfectly with that.
When you grew up, did you eat Persian food or Austrian food?
At home, almost only Persian.
Yes.
Yeah, and then outside, of course,
What is
Austrian.
Persian food?
Yeah, so a lot of rice. It's my favorite ingredient of anything is rice. White basmati rice.
Yes.
White and fluffy, not sticky like the Asian kind of thing, but more Indian style, Persian style, let's say, with even a bit of saffron in the rice.
When you travel, do you feel lonely?
No, I don't feel lonely. I feel like there's a difference, probably you agreed, between being alone and being lonely. right? So I'm sometimes alone. The more you travel, the more you go back to cities that you've been before, and you know people. Like Zurich, of course, here actually is in a way almost like a hometown for me. And I know a lot of people, and I have family here. And that familiarity feeling, already you don't feel lonely, even though you're alone.
What about hotels? Have you developed an aversion to the hotels yet, or you like hotels still?
I still like hotels. I try to go more and more into apartments or like Airbnb style of things. And also this, in my 20s, I didn't care where I would stay. It could be the smallest room. I would always try to save a bit of money here, a bit of money there. And now, because I travel more, now if it's one thing I don't save so much anymore, maybe a bit, I allow myself to spend a bit more, is I just want to have a bigger room. You know, I just need to feel a little bit. When I used to practice like this and my ball would touch the wall, I would be like, whatever, it doesn't matter, time to save money. But now I'm like, let me just stretch my arm at least when I practice.
For me, that's a big difference. I'm really done with hotels. I would be very happy if I would never have to stay in a hotel again. But I do stay, and I stay in very nice hotels, but even the nicest hotel is still a hotel. One of the things I love about Zurich is that I have an apartment here, and I can leave my stuff here. And to me, these little things, just not carrying everything in the suitcase, makes a big difference.
By the way, I sometimes envy conductors because, of course, your scores are heavy, but my cello is heavier. So.
I hear absolute nightmare stories from my cellist friends about checking into the airplanes and trying to check in their cello, and sometimes they even buy a full price ticket and they are still not allowed to carry their cello on. It's a nightmare. But yeah, we don't have that problem. But you should try to lift my bag sometime. Often the custom people say, "What do you have, bricks in here? What is it?" It is just, no, it's what, 4 months.
The Bruckner
score, yes.
Yeah.
Scores.
So you always have to buy an extra ticket for the cello, and it's basically full price.
How about a bucket list for your life? Do you have something that you just have to do before it's too late?
I want to do skydiving. That's a bucket list thing. Jumping out of a plane with a parachute.
Oh, with a parachute. Okay,
hopefully
that makes a big difference.
Best case scenario. Other than that, really, I don't try to plan too much. I'm really happy with how my life is, and I've already feel like I've gotten too much in a way. I'm always like, okay, when is this dream gonna end? I'm forever grateful for everything I have. I don't need anything more, honestly. What about you?
Actually, I do have certain things. They are not necessarily bucket lists for life, but I now am sort of looking in a mirror and looking sometimes thinking, who is this handsome man? No, I'm just thinking of who is this old man? Because I feel like a kid, and I think that 40 years of conducting, frankly, and the geography is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I used to go to all interesting little places in Scandinavia, and I would go to Scotland and Ireland and whatever. Almost never. Now it's always Vienna and Berlin and Paris and New York and maybe some other major cities, and it's all about the prestigious places, but I have never been to India, never been in most of the Southeast Asia. The paradox is that I never go anywhere unless I have a concert. So please, somebody from Mongolian Symphony Orchestra, invite me, because I really want to see these kind of places.
Can you take me with?
We
can do the Mozart.
We will do it as a bucket list. I should just find a way to go to India, for example. I would love to.
Just take a backpack and
well, yeah, but I don't. This is the thing: is that you don't. In reality, when you have a vacation, the one thing I don't want to do is to go somewhere and stay in a hotel. I want to be at home.
Yeah, I understand.
So because my everyday life is in hotels.
I understand it
so the last thing I want to do is to go someplace and spend time in a hotel. Yeah. Thank you, Kian, for joining us on the ride through Zurich.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Follow us and see you next time.